What's up, YouTube? It's your boy CM the Goat 5, man. Back with another one. We got a good one, a new one for you today, man. We're still on the P. Diddy situation, what's going on with him. Um, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, to my YouTube channel, man. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have a lot going on. We're going to be sharing a lot of videos, a lot of upcoming videos and stuff like that with you guys and everything. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, man, you know what I'm saying, go hit that subscribe button, go hit that like button, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get into it. Let's go.
In law enforcement. So again, what we are seeing there is that you call this guy and this guy will make it disappear and the media will report whatever the incident is in a capacity that covers up the crime, allegedly. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? The cleanup guy, Mr. Fahim Muhammad, was also on the scene when Michael Jackson died.
I really need to stop digging for shit because when I dig for stuff, I find things that make me feel uncomfortable. Now, I know you know the man on the left and the man on the right, but do you know the man in the middle? The man in this is Fahim Muhammad. He is the head of security of Diddy, who used to be the head of security of MJ the year he was unalive.
And I'm saying he was unalive because that's how I feel in my opinion.
That's right. This is the young Fahim Muhammad testifying in court the day Comrade Murray was put to trial for Michael Jackson's death. That's right. Comrade Murray was giving CPR to Michael Jackson when Fahim Muhammad walked into the room. Now, my question is, how did you become head of security of Michael Jackson with no damn experience? Muhammad graduated from Sacramento State University with a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration and with a concentration of real estate and marketing. And not even a year later, Michael Jackson is unalived in his home. So how does a man with no experience whatsoever become Michael Jackson's head of security? No one has a fucking answer. Now, remember, in the current case right now, with Rodney Jones versus everybody, Mr. Combs continuously made it clear that he had power in the music industry and in law enforcement. He also stated that Mr. Combs made it clear that his head of security, Fahim Muhammad,
Mr. Muhammad, if you're nasty,
had the power to make people and problems disappear.
That part right there is the reason why we are here. Some people were watching this like, who the heck is this Muhammad guy? That right there is the reason why I'm talking about this guy. Allegedly, this man is the cleaner, the fixer, the possible hitman for all of these people that have passed away. If you have been watching my show or my channel, you know that allegedly I've been talking about Diddy has been allegedly getting rid of people to the point where it's almost like Diddy is a serial blanker. I don't want to say the word. And Diddy himself, isn't the serial blanker. It may actually be Mr. Muhammad, who's the serial blanker. So this is deep. And just like I said before, it keeps getting deep. And that's the reason why I'm on this so far down, because I want to see how far this goes before somebody gets sick on me. So everybody hit the like button. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. Drop your city in the chat and let me know where you're at. And hit the like button. Let's go. I'm back this up just a little bit. And let's go.
Security of MJ the year he was unalive.
And I'm saying.
So I want y'all to think about this. Why in the world would Diddy, being not as big as Michael Jackson, but pretty prominent, why in the world would somebody like Diddy hire somebody that allowed, because he was head of security, Michael Jackson, the most famous person on the planet, die. I'll say it again. Michael Jackson dies. His head of security is in the vicinity when Michael Jackson dies. And the head of security has no security experience. He has a degree in real estate or something. So one, how did this man become head of security for the most famous man in the world? But two, why would Diddy hire a man that failed to protect the most famous man in the world and he has no experience? The reason why, in my assumption, is he had something to do with getting rid of Michael Jackson. And because whatever he did allegedly has been undetected all of these years, Diddy is like, how did you do that? How did you get rid of Michael Jackson? And how is it that after 20 years of Michael Jackson being gone, you never showed up in anybody's legal paperwork or as a co-conspirator? How did you get away with that? And Mr. Muhammad was like, it's what I do. I get rid of people. And the way I get rid of people, it never gets tracked back to me. And Diddy is like, I need you to get rid of some people for me. Can you do that for me? And he was like, sure, at a price. And then boom, they're together. Now, all of this is alleged. All of this is my assumption because I don't want this Muhammad dude going after me. So Fahim Muhammad, I don't know nothing. I'm just a dude on YouTube that doesn't like Diddy. But that's it. But me and you could be good friends because I don't want no smoke
This
with P. Diddy's alleged hitman. So shout out to you, Mr. Muhammad. Like, we're good, right? Hit the like button, Muhammad, to let me know that we're good. Because I don't want no smoke with Muhammad. Because Muhammad ain't in jail. Muhammad is still walking around. Muhammad may come and go out to all of us. And with all that being said, we are in a small amount of danger, people who do content about this. So we're gonna go back to this, but I want to show you how Muhammad could go after some of us on YouTube in real life. It's not crazy. Listen to this, and then we'll come back to this. That work for Diddy. Hold on. It's actual people that work for Diddy that are contacting content creators to get them to stop doing videos about Diddy. Because this is important for any content creator who is doing videos about any type of celebrity. It's important for them to see that there's a possibility that that celebrity will see your video and start coming after you or try to threaten you. I just want to say to any person, private investigator, or any of Diddy's goons, I like guns more than Diddy likes man booty. Play with me if you want to. I got all kinds of shit around this motherfucker. So I just want to say that I like guns more than Diddy likes man booty. Shout out to the private investigators. You know, do something crazy, you're gonna leave here with no arms. So I'm just saying, play with us if you want to. All right, so here we go. Everybody hit the like button. To the new people, please hit the like button.
Conversation consent. And I have received full consent from Vicky May to play this video for you. So on March 29th, Russell Green, the private investigator mentioned in Little Rod's lawsuit against Diddy, reached out to Vicky May. Yes, the same private investigator who allegedly harassed an 8-year-old for information about her dad. She only reads what she sees and she doesn't add to it. So the video I'm about to play for you is the conversation between Vicky and Mr. Russell Green, the private investigator that Diddy allegedly hired to pursue information about Rodney Jones.
Hi, Russell. This is Victoria. I got your email.
Hey, Victoria, how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Good. I got sent your TikTok. You covering Diddy case and mentioned it.
Uh-huh.
Russell Green, the private investigator mentioned in Little Rod's lawsuit against Diddy, reached out to Vicky May. Yes, the same private investigator who allegedly harassed an 8-year-old for information about her dad. She only reads what she sees and she doesn't add to it. So the video I'm about to play for you is the conversation between Vicky and Mr. Russell Green, the private investigator that Diddy allegedly hired to pursue information about Rodney Jones.
I got sent your TikTok. You covering Diddy case and mentioned it.
I sent you an email saying and found out you're talking about you covering the Diddy case.
Is you okay to speak with me about this?
Is it okay to speak with me about this?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Obviously, we're not in court right now. We're going to be in court at some point.
Obviously, we're not in court right now.
But the information that you're covering, in addition to involving me, is 100%.
The information that you are covering involving me, he said the word me, as in him, and the person's name is Russell Green, is incorrect. So right now, he's not talking about Diddy in particular. He's talking about himself, Russell Green, which is somebody that allegedly works for P. Diddy.
Inaccurate.
Sorry for
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I didn't hear you saying anything.
Okay, so is there a reason that you're calling me? Because as mentioned in the video, all of this is alleged, and I made that clear in the video. Nothing is all, as listening to anybody who follows me, they know this is just his version of events. Nothing in this docket is fact nor fiction until obviously it's proven in court. But only thing I did was read what was in the docket. So I didn't insinuate that it was true. I just read what was listed.
Yeah, I just want to caution you as a journalist, as what you're doing or the entertainment that you're doing. You're actually causing a little bit more harm than good. And what I'm
Okay, it sounds like it's a little bit more clear. So the subtitles are good enough. All right, cool. All right, cool. All right, so I'm no longer going to keep pausing it because they said the subtitles are good enough. So cool. All right, what's up, Allison?
I want to share with you. I understand you keep using the word allegedly. The problem is that the way that you're covering it sends a different message. And I just want to caution you that this is a very real investigation. This is not entertainment. The text messages that you're covering, the text message, the way that you're presenting it. Matter of fact, even what you said was
Hey, Bernadette.
inaccurate. The text message that you're referring to in your story, if you go back and listen to it, doesn't even go with the story that you're giving. It's a different text message.
Sir, I'm not giving anything, sir. I'm reading what's literally on the screenshot on the paper. If there's an issue with how it's written, that would be a question you have with Tyrone Blackburn. He's the one who wrote it.
So real quick. So just like the other young lady said earlier, is there a reason why the man isn't going at CNN News, all these other, large conglomerates talking about this, and they're going after TikTokers? Does anybody know why they're doing this? Well, it's simple. News agencies are controlled by the government. Some of y'all know this, some of y'all may not know this. News agencies, they all get their talking points and their, their interpretation of what happened out in the world from the same company, right? So no matter where you are in the country, you're being fed the same news. It's either going to be right-wing news or left-wing news, but it's still the same news, because the right wing is meant to fight with the left wing.
A synchronized script.
Some media outlets publish these same fake stories
On dozens of local news stations. Same words, same message. Mandated by the same station owner, Sinclair Broadcasting Group.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Tonight, the corporation behind that commentary, defiant and digging in after this video posted by Deadspin went viral. In an internal memo obtained by NBC News, a Sinclair executive lists its journalism awards, and in a statement to reporters writes, "We find it curious that we would be attacked for asking our news people to remind their audiences that unsubstantiated stories exist on social media." Some critics see it differently.
It's odd to see all of these anchors saying the same thing at the same time with the words that have come out of one central location in Baltimore, Maryland. That's not our tradition in the United States. It's massive propaganda.
The broadcast group, which skews more conservative, owns or operates more than 190 stations, including 15 NBC affiliates.
So when it comes to TikTok, nobody's controlled. Everybody can say what they want to say, and nobody's controlling these TikTokers or people on YouTube. That's the reason why he is going after content creators and not newscasters, because he knows newscasters are simply reading off of paper. The TikTok people are like, yo, get him out of here. He's trash. News ain't gonna say he's trash, but we'll say he's trash. I say it myself. P. Diddy is trash. His parties aren't the problem. It's the secret tunnels under his house, or the usage of said tunnels under his house is the problem. It's the transportation, allegedly underage women from one state to another state for whatever reasons. It's his little nasty son actually co-conspirating this transportation or alleged transportation and recruitment of younger women to Diddy's lair, I would say. So it's not just Diddy parties. I would have loved to go to a Diddy party back in the day before I knew Diddy was in the weird stuff. Who wouldn't want to go to a Diddy party? Back in the day, I was never invited. So I'm not mad that I was never invited. Would I have said something if I was invited? Yeah. Because the party isn't the thing that I'm looking at when it comes to Diddy. I'm looking at the numbers of deaths that have been surrounding him. Heavy D, Kim Porter, Biggie, Tupac, Craig Mack, Black Rob, like virtually every person that was ever close to Diddy almost is dead. And then Shine, he's not dead, but he did what, 15 years in prison? So it's like every single person that you ever loved, Diddy, is dead. You know, that's the thing. So you got Diddy parties.
I hit that like button.
And one thing, yeah, and Albie Shore was allegedly poisoned, and Pimp C, 1000% Pimp C, yes, Pimp C, yes. And he survived. Jamie Foxx was allegedly poisoned, and he survived. So you got Diddy parties over here, no problem, cool. But then you got all these dead people over here. And yes, I do think Diddy had something to do with Tupac's murder and Biggie's murder.
It's literally, and once again, I'm not a journalist. All I'm doing is literally reading what's on the paper and literally reading it to the audience. All of this is public information. I understand why you're calling and you're saying it is inaccurate, which I appreciate. So now I know going forward, you will not ever be mentioned. You're only mentioning that small piece. So I get that part.
Right here. She's taking correction. This is a dope person. And thank y'all for hitting the like button. I appreciate y'all. She's a dope person. She's not being argumentative. She's taking directions. So I like this. She's taking direction. She's not being argumentative. I love that. I absolutely love that.
And I just want to caution you that this is a very real investigation. This is not entertainment. The text messages that you're covering, the text message, the way that you're presenting it, matter of fact, even what you said was inaccurate. The text message that you're referring to in your story, if you go back and listen to it, doesn't even go with the story that you're giving. It's a different text message.
Sir, I'm not giving anything, sir. I'm reading what's on literally on the screenshot on the paper. If there's an issue with how it's written, that would be a question you would have with Tyrone Blackburn. He's the one who wrote it. So I'm just literally, and once again, I'm not a journalist. All I'm doing is literally reading what's on the paper and literally reading it to the audience. All of this is public information. I understand why you're calling and you're saying it is inaccurate, which I appreciate. So now.
So I want to go back to something in particular that was very important. Where's the news agencies?
Oh, so.
Where is? All right, forget it. So
let me pause that. So basically, right there, what they saying, man, they saying Tyrone Blackburn allegedly Diddy's hit pop guy. You know what I'm saying? So hold on, my mic ain't even plugged up, so y'all can hear me. I don't know if y'all can hear me or not, but let me plug my mic in. Can you hear me now? Okay, it's on now. So basically what they were saying was Tyrone Blackburn is allegedly Diddy's hitman or whatever. Quote unquote, you know what I'm saying? He get the job done, whatever he's supposed to do or whatever for Diddy. He used to be Michael Jackson's security, head of security. Now he was Diddy's head of security. You know what I'm saying? So this is basically what the dude was saying. Yeah, most definitely what he was saying. So let's get it back into what we got over here.
I played that to let y'all know that Diddy has been sending his goons to different people to shut them up. Here's another thing that some of you don't know. Put a 1 in the chat if you're aware that Kimora Lee, her house burnt down back in March when all this Diddy stuff came out. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all remember that. Do y'all remember when Kimora Lee Simmons' house mysteriously burnt down, caught on fire back in March when this Diddy stuff first came out? Put a 1 in the chat if you remember that. So I'm saying this to let y'all know that Diddy actually has people that allegedly go out and either threaten people, coerce people, like that guy did to the TikTokers, and actually murk people if they don't comply. So this whole situation is getting very serious. And even though Diddy is in jail, that doesn't mean that people are actually safe. So I just want to say that. So let's keep going with these videos. And we got almost 500 people in here. Everybody make sure to hit the like button.
All right, we're going to start that one right there and move on to the next one. Because that's basically what he was saying, pretty much. Let me see. Let me go up here. Y'all, who seen that one what Dame Dash had to say about what's the name? Jay-Z. Let me see. I got the one on Whack on him. Let's see. Oh, here we go.
Sometimes, the only thing more difficult than running a business is finding.
Now, peeps, former Rockefeller CEO Dame Dash appears to be claiming that Jay-Z is next in the Diddy takedown.
If you're going down on this one, I can't go with you.
Now, he was asked some valid questions in a sit-down as to why Jay-Z hasn't dispelled any of the rumors of his ex-crimes being tied with Diddy, and he's got a major point. Now, 90% of the time, if somebody is truly innocent, they will come through and clear their name. Now, there's even reports of Leonardo DiCaprio clearing his name, letting people know he was not involved in some of the Diddy allegations, but Jay-Z has stayed completely mute. Now, make sure you watch this whole entire video so that you don't miss nothing.
It would be such another big blow for hip-hop. Regardless of what, perception-wise, Jay is also a pillar of hip-hop. And if anything bad happens to him, then it's really going to look crazy for hip-hop. So I would never want to think that he lost his soul to that extent. It's just someone I grew up with. No matter what, I don't wish if he was doing the crazy shit they're saying, then, there's going to always be some degree of recourse at some point. But I really hope that shit ain't true. I would hate to think that the people that were in my world really had that degree of a secret. That they were completely different people than, I was trying to empower. Like there was a time pause that he inspired. I love his family. I love his mother. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard for me to be beefing with people when I know their children or their parents to a certain level. You're still cool with the kid. That's why we're like, he was supposed to be Jay's supposed to be my son's godfather. How does he do that to put his godson's father? So there are some levels that I know are dark. But again, I'm just hoping that it's not that dark. Because then I'm going to have to process that. But I just wish, to be honest, that the people that are being accused of certain things, they should just step up and be like, yo, they bugging. Man, just dead that shit. Like, this is a very transparent place and world in these days. It's very easy to say that's not true. When I wasn't at that party, I didn't do what they said I did. And, I remember when I would ask Jay, yo, well, how come they keep saying we beefing and how come you don't say nothing about it? He goes, I don't want to bring no fuel to it. Nah, that brought all the fuel to it. So being silent is sometimes the loudest thing in the world. So I believe if the things aren't true, because I hear the stuff that Jaguar says, and she be on like 10 toes down, like not allegedly. And I've been sued for not saying allegedly. That's why I got this problem I have now with this judgment. I have been sued for not saying allegedly. So the things she's saying, and she'd be like, no allegedly, like no Diddy pause, or like, they'd be like, no allegedly. I would think that they could shut that down. So I'm curious now. I'm not saying it's true or not. I'm saying, yo, well, how come when I say the littlest shit, like I got sued again by that, and again, I don't want to get sued, right? Because they take anything, but Josh Weber, that the dude that's pretending he directed a movie I directed based on my personal account, sued me in LA again for $4 million for a interview I did with Earn Your Leisure where I didn't even say his name. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be careful. So I know, like, you get sued for nothing. So I'm like, yo, how come nobody's suing these people? Why won't they just say nah? Like, I'm not calling out no names, but we all know that the shit they're saying is nuts. Paul. It's so that I can't even, it's nuts. And not just for Homeboy, for everybody. So I'm hoping the stuff I'm hearing isn't going to happen. I'm hoping that the stuff I'm hearing isn't true. I don't want anybody to be that dumb. I don't want another blow for hip-hop. And I'm just trying to figure out, I'm very curious to know who was at the party. You know what I'm saying? Like, someone was there. I'm not going to even hold you. Like, I can't pretend I don't want to know. But I'm saying, like, DiCaprio, and I can tell you stories about that dude later, but another time. But he came out and was like, yo, I don't, he said something. He did say something. His press, whatever they wanted him to say, he had a statement. So I want to know why there's no statement from all these, like the shit they saying is unbelievable. It's crazy.
Yeah, you would definitely think somebody will actually want to clear their name after they're getting drugged by the media. But, sometimes a guilty conscience makes people stay away. When they don't have anything to say, sometimes they'll just completely stay quiet. I mean, he hasn't had no lawyers speak out for him, anything. He's acting like none of this is actually occurring, and this is absolutely crazy. Now, another person's life who he destroyed is J-Lo. And J-Lo is definitely not a victim. Now, you notice her and Ben Affleck, they got a divorce after the feds seized those Diddy tapes. So allegedly, it's being indicated that the feds gave Ben Affleck those tapes, and he was so shocked and appalled, he decided to divorce her. Now, a lot of people were speculating as to what exactly the feds were looking for, and it appears they were searching for a very specific piece of key evidence. Now, allegations came out about Jennifer Lopez sneaking in the gun that Diddy used for the December 1999 shooting, and that he paid Shine $1 million to do a 10-year bid for him. She went from Jenny from the block to Jenny with the Glock. Now, being that no one was killed, Jennifer Lopez was able to walk away from the charges unscathed due to the statute of limitations. Now, if the lady had died that he shot, then the statute of limitations would not.
Gusto is the #1 choice for small business payroll. It's fast. It's trusted. It's a great value. And Gusto
apply. She would have had some type of criminal liability in the case, so she got lucky. Her woo lady must have been working overtime.
If you believe in voodoo.
Now, as I mentioned in my previous video, Diddy took off in his G5 jet in order to try and evade prosecution. Now, bro is definitely shaking in his boots. But what he didn't realize, though, was while he was wings up with moderate to low turbulence, is that his alleged drug mule was getting locked up. So let's talk about what we know about this drug mule before we get into what the feds tore his houses up for. Now, he was described in a recent lawsuit and was arrested Monday while Diddy and his crew were stopped by federal law enforcement agents. Now, according to the affidavits, 25-year-old Brendan Paul was booked on 2 separate drug charges after the feds intercepted Diddy's plane at the Opa-locka airport in Miami. He was hit with 1 count of possession of suspected cocaine and another possession of suspected marijuana, both of which are felonies in Florida. Now, it appears that he was waiting to serve Diddy his fix before Diddy flew off into the sunset. Now, in the paperwork, officers claimed that while they were working in conjunction with Homeland Security and Customs and Border Protection personnel, they came across what they described as the suspected drugs in Paul's travel bags, which they say he actually claimed. Florida officers went on to say that the suspected narcotics were tested and found to be legit, leading to Brendan Paul's arrest. He was booked into jail but has since actually bailed out. Now, it's important to note that Brendan Paul was named in Rodney Jones, aka Little Rod's, explosive complaint against Diddy, which identified him as a close confidant of Diddy's and as someone who allegedly handles Diddy's drugs/guns. Now, he is additionally accused of aiding and abetting Combs and his associates in the alleged trafficking by paying freak-off workers in cash. Now, Diddy thought by having him on his team, he could sneak and do his dirt, but he didn't realize that the feds be watching everybody. Now, reportedly, all of those freak-off allegations piqued the feds' interest, and the reason they stormed his home was to find copies of the videos that Cassie and Little Rod had mentioned. Now, apparently, those videos contain shocking evidence that could put Diddy away forever. Now, apparently, man, Diddy is not wanting to take a plea deal. He's actually wanting to go to trial, and the trial is actually set to be going down on this in about a year or so. Now, it's interesting that Dame Dash actually spoke out about his former friend Jay-Z, and I want to get you guys' opinions on that in the comments. Make sure y'all don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on the videos. Share these videos, and I'm going to peep y'all on the next one. Holla.
What is your video, Sunlink? Go to artlist.io and get the best music and sound effects for your videos. This is not the real world. This is your creation. The stories you tell.
All right, let's see what we got. Coming up now.
Seeing the pool of evidence gathered by prosecutors to put him behind bars forever, P. Diddy opted for the easy way out. He reportedly apologized for his crimes and ratted out the list of celebs who attended his party. It appears that Hollywood, which has been the dream of most young people, is the epicenter of these crazy, wild activities because most of the stars are on Diddy's list. From Leonardo DiCaprio to Jennifer Lopez and even Cuba Gooding Jr., no one is left off the list. Let's get into it. A day of snitching. In a not-so-shocking turn of events, the arrest of music mogul P. Diddy following a federal grand jury indictment is uncovering a lot of skeletons buried in the depths of Hollywood. Before a federal court judge, the grand jury indictment against P. Diddy was unsealed, revealing a 3-count charge against the music mogul. The indictment alleges that the music mogul known as Sean Diddy Combs has, over the decade, been involved in sex trafficking, racketeering conspiracy, and transportation for the purpose of prostitution. What is more alarming, however, is that the investigation revealed Diddy's all-white parties are worthy of attention. With this recent development, high-profile celebrities are now being seen in a different light because at one point or another, they have attended Diddy's wild parties. You know what they say, yeah? Ain't no party like a Diddy's party. Well, unfortunately, attending Diddy's parties has left many celebs with sleepless nights because the law is on the hunt for anyone on Diddy's celebrity list. Interestingly, Diddy has made investigators' work a lot easier. After apologizing in court, the music mogul proceeded to spill the names of his wild party attendees. After Diddy's arrest, various celebrities have been scrutinized for attending his parties, like Khloe Kardashian and Diddy's ex Jennifer Lopez, though nothing is suggesting any celebrity knew about the illegal activities Diddy was arrested for. However, it appears that one celebrity was Diddy's favorite to host during his 2018 white party. 6 years ago, Diddy took part in Vogue's video series 73 Questions With, which asks celebrities 73 questions while touring around their house. The interviewer asked the white party host who the first person on his invite list was for the 2018 white parties. Without hesitation.
All right, so listen up. State Farm was trying to charge me $197 for car insurance. No, thank you. I got a friend who told me about this website.
Diddy responded, Leonardo DiCaprio.
And the white party's coming back this year, by the way, for charity.
Yeah, it's great to hear. And I'm sure that's probably not public information yet, but who's the person that's number one on that invitation list?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
And I can get on that list,
yes,
right?
Without a doubt, you are invited.
Shockwaves were sent down everyone's spine hearing Music Mogul and Wild Party. Host Diddy announced that the number one person on his white party invitation list was none other but Hollywood star Leonardo DiCaprio. A 1998 resurfaced photo from that year's white party showed Diddy and the Titanic star among other party guests drinking from champagne bottles around them as they held glasses. Though Diddy name-dropped Leonardo a few years ago, sources claim that Leonardo hasn't been in touch with Diddy in years. A source declared to Mail that Leonardo DiCaprio has absolutely nothing to do with any of this. He attended a few of his parties back in the early 2000s, but literally everyone did. They were not freak-offs. For proper clarification, and to debunk Leonardo's involvement in Diddy's freak-offs, the source added, they were big house parties. Leo was at the start of his career at the time and had moved way past his partying. He has nothing to do with any of that world. So for anyone to assume that he will get roped into this based on a few grainy photos that are more than 20 years old is ridiculous. Well, some people do not find it ridiculous because the charges against Diddy and the allegations about his parties date back to the late 90s. However, Leo is focused on his career and his relationship and is not at all thinking about Diddy's federal case, which he has nothing to do with, the source explained. However, Leonardo DiCaprio was not the only one on the celebrity list. The list houses most of the top dogs of the industry. industry. For instance, it is no longer news that the Philadelphia rapper and longtime associate of Diddy is one of the persons on the infamous celebrity list. If you remember, Lil Rod's sexual assault lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs stylishly name-dropped Meek Mill as one of Diddy's confidants during his freak-offs. The lawsuit, although withholding some names, tried to describe the attendees of a writers and producers camp organized by P. Diddy at Chalice Recording Studios on September 12, 2022, during which a shooting incident happened. Here's how Meek Mill was implicitly mentioned in the lawsuit. He is a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj. Well, whether they are hitting the club together or sharing a toast at exclusive parties, Meek Mill and P. Diddy have been close associates for a long time. However, as it appears, not only has the Philadelphia rapper been a close associate of the music mogul, but his name has been mentioned throughout the spree of lawsuits and scandal spread around Diddy and his freak-off parties. Although Meek Mill showed his support for Diddy in the early stages of the allegations when the storm was still calm, his solidarity could not stand the test of time. For instance, after Cassie's lawsuit made the news and became a topical matter, the Philly rapper tweeted in solidarity with Diddy on the 8th of April 2024, saying, "Don't believe no Diddy story once they lied about me now. Anybody try to sexually assault me, it will be a bang out on the spot. How y'all don't know that, LOL. I don't care, but y'all confusing my son. He is 12 with people saying his dad gay. It's sick now out here, so it, LOL." However, as the allegations against Diddy grew darker and the lawsuits kept piling up, the Philly rapper opted to create a distance between his once-upon-a-time close associates by unfollowing him on Instagram. As you may already guess, the list is getting more exciting, as pictures of one of Diddy's white parties show TV personality Kim Kardashian partying hard with Paris Hilton in the background. And you could also spot Diddy with Ashton Kutcher and Demi Moore at another white party in 2009. Let's talk about the Kardashians' connection with Diddy and his parties. Well, everyone knows that the Kardashians are no strangers to the spotlight, which has entangled them in numerous scandals over the years. Although most of the scandals cool off and disappear over time, this one would probably stick because in a 2014 episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Khloe Kardashian shared details of attending one of Diddy's wild parties. While detailing the events of the night to Kourtney, Khloe mentioned that 20-year-old Justin Bieber was also in attendance at the party. In her words, "I got on a plane at 5:30 a.m. Well, this party, I think half the people there were butt naked." As if that was not enough, in 2016, another clip resurfaced showing Khloe and Kourtney in Cocktails with Khloe chatting to Diddy about his infamous parties. "When you think of a party, you think of Puff," Khloe said, to which Diddy simply responded, "Yeah." They then shared moments about one of Diddy's white parties, and Kourtney recalled a fun night spent with Kanye West, Corey Gamble, and Tiger. It appears Cat Williams wasn't kidding when he said, "This is the year of the truth," especially with the dark side of Hollywood slowly being exposed. In a shocking turn of events, even LeBron James is not left out of this flood, as his name is, boldly written in Diddy's celebrity list. LeBron James is the latest addition to Diddy's ever-growing drama list. A resurfaced video from 4 years ago shows James praising Combs' infamous parties, and fans cannot shut their mouths about that.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so yeah, that's what's up. Yeah.
To be honest, that would have been just another random harmless video, but the timing couldn't be more striking, as the hip-hop mogul said.
What if I told you that you can use Motion Array to improve your videos fast? For example, you can create a professional opener just like this. As a content creator, I can choose from thousands.
Sits behind bars on serious sex trafficking charges, alleging to have taken place during these wild parties. Amid growing pressure for Hollywood and hip-hop A-listers to speak out against Diddy, this resurfaced Instagram live clip from 2022 has left LeBron James's fans stunned. The big question now is who is left out of this list. This particular image from July 2000 features Diddy and his then-girlfriend Jennifer Lopez lounging on a massive white bed draped with pillows during one of his white parties. Now, if you remember, the couple dated between 1999 and 2001. At the same event, Diddy and Lopez were photographed with Kimora Lee Simmons, her then-husband Russell Simmons, and others. Interestingly, just like P. Diddy, Russell Simmons had experienced a similar plight leading to his fall from grace. In 2017, the hip-hop mogul was accused by multiple women of sexual assault-related allegations. Although Russell Simmons outrightly denied the allegations, more women accused him of assault or rape following his incessant denials. In a statement to Rolling Stone, Russell claimed, "They have shocked me to my core as I have never been abusive or violent in any way in my relations with women." Unfortunately, following the allegations, Simmons stepped down from his position at Def Jam. Interestingly enough, Russell Simmons was one of the few people who defended Diddy when the rapper's bleak past was coming to light.
Russell Simmons admitted that he was a drug abuser. You understand? Russell Simmons admitted that he used to put his hands on women.
Expectedly, Beyonce and Jay-Z are sitting pretty on the Diddy list. One of the resurfaced pictures from one of Diddy's parties shows Jay-Z and his wife in a group photograph among other party attendees. For a fact, most people don't consider this a surprise because Jay-Z and Beyonce have been longtime associates of the disgraced music mogul, so it's only normal that they don't miss his freak-offs. From another perspective, musician Usher, who was entrusted in Diddy's custody at the age of 13, said he saw very curious things when he lived with the music mogul. The You Got It Bad musician, 45, appeared on the Howard Stern show in 2016 where he opened up about his time living with Diddy for a year when he was 13 years old.
It was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
Usher then recalled that there were famous artists like Biggie Smalls, Lil' Kim, Craig Mack, Faith Evans, and Mary J. Blige who were also hanging around at Diddy's parties at the time. When asked if he was staying up until 4 a.m. partying with Diddy and his entourage, Usher said he could and actually stayed up longer than them. In a different interview with Rolling Stone in 2004, Usher revealed that P. Diddy exposed him to a different lifestyle, specifically to a different style of sex. He explained, "Sex is so hot in the industry, man. There was always girls around. You'd open a door and see somebody doing it or several people in a room having an orgy. You never knew what was going to happen." In February 2024, the musician and stepper also opened up to People's Magazine about the crazy lifestyle he experienced at Diddy's Flavor Camp. He recalled how he was able to meet the big tops of the industry at a very early age and also witnessed the making of some of the greatest albums in the industry. He recalled, "I can remember Outkast making their first records and being able to hear Rico Wade work on these songs, literally sleeping in this man's living room, being in the dungeon, just kind of being around and just trying to figure out who's who." But here's where it gets crazy. After experiencing most of the fun of his life and meeting the right connections in the industry as a young boy, Howard Stern asked the musician if he would like to send his son to one of those Diddy's Flavor Camps to acquire the experience he did. His response revealed a deeper meaning.
You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Hell no.
Hold up. Did you see how straight up he came with that hell no? He is not about to make the same mistake of sending his offspring to experience what he did. Well, I think it is safe to say throughout the years, Diddy's parties attracted guests such as Paris Hilton, Kim Kardashian, Howard Stern, Kelly Osbourne, Aretha Franklin, Martha Stewart, Tommy Lee, Pamela Anderson, Regis Philbin, Vera Wang, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Mariah Carey, Nick Cannon, and more. Freak off ever after. The recent upturn in the events surrounding the life of music mogul P. Diddy is bringing a lot of loose ends together, and what was once unclear is beginning to make sense to the public. Here is P. Diddy detailing his freak-off party during a Conan O'Brien interview in 2002. Let's take a look at Diddy's response when O'Brien asked him how to throw a killer party.
We need alcohols. Right. Alcohols. Right. Not just one alcohol. Alcohols. Right. Just different blend. You need the ladies, you need the booze. You need some water. For watering plants? No, I don't know if guys have noticed this. Like, a lot of ladies drink water at parties.
The music mogul explained that if the ladies don't get what they need, they will leave the party. I mean, alcohol and lots of water are understandable requirements for a normal party, but this is what distinguishes a normal party from Diddy's freak-off.
You need locks on the doors. Okay, this is sounding kind of dangerous now. It's a little kinky, but yeah. No air conditioning. Why is that? Heat affects the alcohol, and it also affects, like, everybody gets a little bit more comfortable and loose. Builds up a nice little sweat. That just sounds disgusting. What are you talking about? Depends on the way you look at it.
Certainly depends on the way you look at it, because Puff Daddy explained that the sweat makes the ladies kind of sexy. Now let's put this in perspective. On count 3 of the federal grand jury indictment, the embattled music producer, Sean Diddy Combs, was charged with transportation to engage in prostitution. According to the indictment, between the period of 2009 and 2024, Diddy, who has been tagged as the defendant, knowingly transported an individual in interstate and foreign commerce with the intent that the individual engages in prostitution. The grand jury further alleged that the music mogul willfully caused the transportation of female victims and commercial sex workers in interstate and foreign commerce on multiple occasions with the intent that they engage in prostitution. So apparently, Diddy was transporting sex workers from interstate to attend his freak-off parties, which are conditioned to be freaky and wild. The grand jury indictment also gives insight into how
anyone with $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans may qualify for help from National Debt Relief. Minimum payments could literally keep you in debt for decades. $10,000 in debt can take anywhere from 14 to 26 years.
How Diddy's party operates. According to the indictment, freak-offs were elaborate and produced performances that Combs arranged, directed, masturbated during, and often electronically recorded. It further alleges that in arranging these freak-offs, Combs, with the assistance of members and associates of the Combs enterprise, transported and caused to be transported commercial sex workers across state lines and internationally. So you might be wondering how the music mogul managed to pull these diabolical stunts. According to the indictment, the enterprise used Diddy's role and position to intimidate, threaten, and lure female victims into Combs' orbit, often under the pretense of a romantic relationship. Combs then used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sex acts with male commercial sex workers that Combs referred to as, among other things, freak-offs. Now here is where it gets a little spicy. The alleged criminal activities that happened during Diddy's wild parties in which these celebrities are involved could put them behind bars if prosecuted. Hold up, guys. Let's not forget Lil Rod Jones' February lawsuit against Diddy. According to producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones' 73-page court document, due to his job description, which required filming P. Diddy at all times, he has secured 100 hours of footage showing P. Diddy alongside his associates and guests engaging in a series of illegal activities, which includes the use of ecstasy drugs and distribution of unregistered firearms. His lawsuit alleges that the A-list rapper has been involved in sex trafficking and assault on Lil Rod and other victims, including minors. Lil Rod's accusations, as well as the grand jury indictment, portray the rapper and his party attendees as horrifying abusers and monsters. Actor Cuba Gooding Jr. was also implicated in Lil Rod's lawsuit. According to Lil Rod, he has footage showing actor Cuba Gooding Jr. sexually harassing and assaulting Mr. Jones. But that is not all. Among the 100 hours of footage he had secured from Diddy's party, Young Miami and her cousin are implicated in them. The footage shows Young Miami's cousin and/or assistant sexually assaulting producer Lil Rod. According to the lawsuit, on Thanksgiving Day 2022, he was in Diddy's house in Miami, Florida, alongside Young Miami and her female cousin. Interestingly, according to the lawsuit, Diddy offered producer Lil Rod cocaine, which he rejected and walked away to the restroom. Now here's the crazy part. While using the restroom, Young Miami's cousin burst into the bathroom and began groping Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones believes that Mr. Combs sent her there to sexually assault Mr. Jones. He explained that as soon as Young Miami's cousin entered the restroom, she dropped to her knees and began to perform oral sex on him. He then pushed her away and left the restroom. But Young Miami's cousin did not oblige to his rejection. Instead, she proceeded to have sex with him in front of Diddy and everyone present at that time. In another light, producer Lil Rod's grooming process into Diddy's lifestyle is perhaps one of the craziest experiences of his life. It appears that when Diddy picked up the phone and called Lil Rod to be part of the brains behind his The Love album, his life has not been the same again. His experiences were terrifying, shocking, and diabolical. Sadly, he endured all of that crazy stuff because it came with the promise of a Grammy.
I took a year off straight working on this album. That album is the Love album, Off the Grid by Diddy. And it's Grammy nominated right now as we speak. I should be celebrating, but the truth is I'm not.
Rodney Lil Rod Jones Jr. is speaking out for the first time since filing a lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs in February. In the lawsuit, Lil Rod alleges Combs sexually harassed, drugged, and threatened him while he traveled and lived with the rapper between September 2022 and November 2023. In an interview with Rolling Stone, the 38-year-old music producer said he feared for his safety and his life. He also tagged Diddy as a monster. Interestingly, the grand jury indictment implicates almost everyone who has attended Diddy's freak-offs, and that is why everyone on the celebrity list is scared. According to the indictment, Sean Diddy Combs and other known and unknown associates are members of a criminal enterprise called the Combs Enterprise. Not only have they tagged Diddy's activities as a criminal enterprise, but the federal grand jury alleges that since 2008 up to the time of their filing, these members and associates of the Combs Enterprise engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other activities, sex trafficking and interstate transportation for the purpose of prostitution. According to the indictment, the purpose of the enterprise includes fulfilling the personal desires of Combs, particularly those related to Combs' sexual gratification, including through the exploitation of women and the use of commercial sex workers. Remember that on count 1, the grand jury charged him with racketeering conspiracy, which alleges that the music mogul has over the decades of his career abused, threatened, and coerced men and women around him to fulfill his wild sexual desires while simultaneously protecting his reputation. Just like many other people, you might be wondering how the rapper was able.
Yeah, man, it's a lot going on for real. Most definitely a lot going on. Okay, here it goes. The one with Whack 100, I think that's the one I was looking for. Let me see.
Download our award-winning mobile app and start trading on the move. Introducing a crypto and FX trading account that's as portable as your...
What up, YouTube? This is Getty Radio back at you with another video. I want to give a double salute to all of my supporters and anyone watching this video right now. And if you're new here, please like, comment, subscribe, and join the Getty Gang. Why don't you? Let's get to the content. Okay, man, the Diddy case got all kinds of people talking about what's really going on, but no celebrity has really came out and said anything about what really goes on in Hollywood and at those Diddy parties, man, except for Suge Knight, man. He does a phone interview from prison, and he exposes it all, man. He says Diddy is like an Epstein figure and that he was groomed to be this way by older people in the industry like Clive Davis, Russell Simmons, Andre Harrell, Jimmy Iovine, and much more, man. And Whack 100 goes off on Suge Knight for speaking about a record executive from Interscope that his job was to bring underage girls and women to the record execs in the business for their sexual pleasures and other weird desires, man. And Whack 100 is saying that Suge Knight is lying his ass off. It is interesting. I'm going to let y'all get to it. Shout out to Whack 100. Shout out to 100 ENT. This is Getty Radio. Let's go.
Where is this coming from with you? What do you believe about the people around Diddy and what everybody knows?
Well, first of all, you got to start with the top.
That's
You
your
starting
voice,
with the top.
your voice.
Clive Davis, Russell Simmons, Andre Harrell, Jimmy Iovine. Even if you take Jimmy Iovine, he had an allegation from him, same thing, he went away. Buffy stepped in this shit, and even if you wipe the shit off his shoe, it still stinks. But he's not the only one. They got all the tapes.
Help people understand. What tapes are you talking about? Who has them? And what kinds of things do you think they show?
Well, number one, but you know what they show. They used to have a thing in the industry, right? And the sad thing about it, I don't like mentioning Usher. I don't like mentioning Justin Bieber. I don't like mentioning all these people that everybody know what time it is. So at the same time, they used to have a joke. They never played this joke with me. And they used to walk in the Interscope office. They'd go back there and they'd be like, hey, we passed the test. I said, we haven't did the test. They used to have these guys, they used to call it the boiled egg test. They used to take a boiled egg, a raw boiled egg, and have those guys put their pants down and bend over and they stick it up their ass. The eggs break, they say they're not ready yet. They ain't put enough work in. This is Hollywood.
I have never heard of anything like that. So
stop for a second.
Go ahead, Suge.
Have you ever been to any puffy parties?
No.
You sure they had a long time to think about it, but if you haven't been in those butt naked parties, even some of the preachers been in those parties, and they wasn't on their knees praying for God. See, they was praying for somebody to have come real quick or something, but I wasn't there, but there's proof of it. But at the same time, everybody want to look around and act like something going on that wasn't right. Okay, but you had a guy named Tubby, used to work for Interscope. This guy's job was to bring underage girls and girls to have sex with employees and other artists. To the point where his friend got caught up with the same thing. How they raided Puppy House for sex trafficking, they raided his friend house for sex trafficking.
That's all he said about him.
That's crazy. Tubby's a fucking A&R. He works for Apple right now. That's Cardi B's manager right now. Tubby ain't never, that nigga weird as a motherfucker doing Tubby like that. Tubby A&R, Akon, Lady Gaga, Game, 50, Eminem. What's wrong? Why that nigga should be saying crazy shit, lying on motherfuckers? Man, Tubby ain't never did. Why would he say some more dumbass shit like that? I don't even think Suge was in the building when Tubby started at Interscope. He was at Interscope when Suge got out of jail and couldn't get in the building. That's crazy he said that shit. I knew I wasn't tripping. I just called Tub. I said, Tubby, now I know I'm not tripping. He said, what's up, big bro? I say, Tub, what year did you get to Interscope? He said 2004, Whack. Suge, your lying ass wasn't even in the building. You wasn't allowed in the building. You was blackballed. Your company was bankrupt by then. How the f you saying what Tubby was doing when Tubby did not go, he was not employed at Interscope till 2004, where your president was non-existent in the build. You couldn't even go in the build. Lying ass nigga, why you lying on Tubby like that, bro? That's crazy. Tubby a good dude. Tubby real name is Sean Holiday. Great dude, worked for Apple, manages Cardi B, A&R The Game, Akon, Lady Gaga, M50, lot of acts. He assisted, I believe, in getting J-Rock his first deal. Don't hold me to that, but if he was at the same label, Tubby been around for 20 years. But Suge, you was not in the building with Tubby. When Tubby went to work for Interscope, none of these people talked to you or dealt with you. You were blackballed. You paroled 0203, some shit like that. You was not, Tubby wasn't even working. You ain't been in the building since 1997.
Oh, shit.
It's a fact.
All of us cap. All of us cap.
Bro, you're not hearing what I'm telling you. Tubby didn't go to work for Interscope until 2004. Suge didn't get out of jail till 02 some shit. He was not allowed in the building. Y'all don't remember Suge Knight is blackballed by Universal? He was not in the building. Distribution and no deal. Jimmy Iovine, none of them execs with you. Death Row was already in bankruptcy. So I don't know if you sitting there telling the world that Tubby, Sean Holiday, job was to bring underage minors to these execs that you wasn't allowed to be around.
Oh, he lied on that? Oh,
You gotta ask that
shit.
See, this weird don't work with Wack because Wack know the timeline to the world. Y'all like, oh yeah, you know, Interscope, Suge, Death Row. No.
Right.
Suge went to jail in 97, 96, 96, came home like 02. Tubby was not working for Interscope, and Suge was not allowed at Interscope. Tubby was not employed at Interscope until 2004. Death Row was in bankruptcy, hadn't dropped a project, had no distribution, had no ties to Universal or Interscope. So in order for you to know that this man is doing these acts, you would have to be in the inner circle, which you wasn't. You just talking. Why? Because you mad at Tubby, because Tubby's over there at Apple, up under one of the biggest dudes at Apple, and doing great things. Why? Because you probably called Tubby, asking him for something on some press shit, and he didn't acknowledge you. Now you want to throw his name in the mud like that, bro. That ain't cool. I just hung up and called him. I say, Tub, I know I'm not tripping. When'd you go to work for Interscope? 2004, Wack? You know that. I said, did you hear this shit Suge said? He said, no, I didn't. I'll be busy. I said, don't worry about it. I'm gonna address it. He don't even know what the nigga didn't say it. If you got a problem with Tubby, you just weird, bro.
Yeah, because devious
Don't bother nobody. Don't f with nobody. Humble. Ain't no dude that want to fight. Ain't none of that shit. Do whatever he can for you. Approachable. Oh, come on, Suge. Like, what kind of nigga is you? That's why I'm needed, bro, because niggas ain't gonna speak up. You don't even put, like, this is crazy, bro. For you to put them type of accusations, not only on Tubby, but on the execs. Now you talking about Diddy got a sex trafficking. Now you want to put minors on it. Now you want to say Tubby was bringing them. Man, bro, get the fuck out of here. Everybody know Tubby from being a good dude. A&R, some of the biggest artists y'all know. Hating ass nigga. Hating ass nigga. This shit is crazy, bro.
Yo, that's some hate ass shit. Cause so niggas just
He never even worked with Tubby. Tubby didn't start till 2004, bro. When Suge got out in 02 or whatever, there was no distribution, no imprint in the building. You ain't never worked with this man. You was not even in the building to be privy to what the f was going on. You don't remember when I told y'all, I said, bro, he can only talk about from 92 to 97. After that, he gonna start telling lies.
Like, you see that podcast?
You still winning big at Chumba Casino?
Absolutely. Have you signed up yet?
Is it for real?
Of course.
It's more real than that Rolex. Plus, it's free to sign up, and then you could play
with him and Dave Mays didn't last so long. After
That's what I said. It. You remember?
Yeah.
Davis, I said it. I said, yo, he only got so much he can talk about.
That's real. You did say that.
Then
That's real.
He gonna start lying.
But that's crazy though. Why niggas just do that, bro? Like, if you tell niggas no once, they be on some lying shit.
He's a vindictive nigga, man. He just jealous of the nigga, bro. Because he came up because he used to be A&R. Now, Tubby got like a top exec spot at Apple.
Real shit.
All right, we're going to leave it right there. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this audio, man. Did y'all hear Suge Knight, man, speaking about the music industry, man? The boiled egg test, man. That sounds like some wild stuff. And it really sounds like some white boy stuff, man. That really sounds like some secret society stuff, man. If you look up rituals in secret societies and what people have to do to join secret societies, even fraternities, man, right? They do a lot of wild stuff. Some of that stuff is homoerotic, man. Some of the things that people have to go through to become part of
We're
those.
gonna start that shit right there. Yeah, that's crazy and wild, for real. Let's see what else we got. I'm trying to see any new updates on anything. Let's see. Let's see what we got. Let's see what they do talking about.
Sometimes, the only thing more difficult than running a business is finding
the diddler. This is what's going on, man. I got a lawyer right here breaking down his indictment, talking about the whole situation. Let's listen to what he has to say. Let's listen to what he has to say. This is Robert Sparks. He breaks it down really well. I thought he did a great job talking about it. Let's listen to him first, and then we'll come back and we'll start getting into the latest updates. They're saying that, you know, there's some tapes going around Hollywood right now that Diddy is on, or that somebody more important than Diddy, more high profile, is the article, with the article quotes. Let's talk about this lawyer. Let's see what he's saying about Diddy right now, what he thinks about the indictment, what he thinks about Diddy's bail package, and then we'll go into the latest report, and then we'll get into Usher. Check this.
Multi-count indictment against Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, P. Diddy. Well, this case is going to go the same way as R. Kelly. And what I mean by that is look to the fact that there will be no plea. Sean Combs is going to prison, and it's just a matter of how long. Why do I say that as a former prosecutor? Because when you look at the indictment and you read the specifics of it, the U.S. government, the U.S. District Attorney's Office, the U.S. prosecutors, what they've done is they've built their case. 6 months ago, we saw Sean Combs' properties get raided. It's outlined in the indictment. I say that because a grand jury has now just released a racketeering conspiracy charge against him. Why is that a big deal? Grand juries typically consist of 12 jurors who's already heard evidence viewed in the favor of the federal prosecution, meaning the U.S. Attorney's Office goes before at least usually 12 jurors to say, is there enough here for us to bring an indictment, i.e. charge, in this case, Sean Combs. So they've already got a little preview of the evidence. And they said, yeah, it does. And not only that.
So he's explaining why Diddy is not coming home, ever. He's explaining that for the feds to even get this case, he's basically explaining to us that it's an open and shut case. Diddy don't even have a chance, this lawyer says, and he's a former prosecutor. So he's formerly, he used to put people in jail like Diddy. So he's explaining why Diddy is never coming home.
Multiple counts, creating a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engaged in and attempted to engage in sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. Now, that's a huge deal because what we know from the last 6 months, after they raided his properties, they were looking for videotapes, they were looking for phone calls, they were looking at any physical evidence to put this together, and it looks like they have it. What's the difference between the feds and the state? State attorney's office, i.e. local, you get arrested, local police department, sheriff's office brings the charge to the prosecutor's office, they review it, and they move forward, meaning they still have to build their case. Here, when you're talking about a U.S. attorney, they've done their investigation. It's different at the federal level. When they charge you day one, they're going into court and saying, we're ready to go. The only plea, in my opinion, is going to be conditioned upon Sean Combs going to prison. It's going to be
That's crazy. You got to think about that. What he said was the feds, before they even bring charges to you, before they arrest you and charge you with anything, they got all the evidence they need. He said on the state level, it's a lot different because on the state level, they don't have the evidence yet. They arrest you, and then the district attorney starts running around sending people out there to get evidence, to find witnesses, but they'll put you in jail first. He said federal level, which is what's going on with Diddy, and he got Kelly on the screen right now. He says that on the federal level, they arrest you after they have 99% of the evidence. And we broke this down previously.
Yeah, that's true. You know, the feds always build a case before they even come and get you. That's accurate. I mean, I know that. I mean, sure. That's definitely true. So he might, you know, he probably won't never get a bond pack. I mean, might have a bail packet, but he probably won't never, you know what I'm saying, get out, come home temporarily. See what else we got over here. See, I'm just trying to see what's the updates. Let's see what these dudes talking about.
Do you like having a P.O. box but are tired of wasting time and money driving to the post office? At iPostal One, we can help.
And when they find 1,000 bottles of baby oil and 500 dildos, there's some suspect activity happening, Piers.
It's like you pass by the door and see a party in an apartment, you go in, you have a drink, and then you go home and realize Jeffrey Dahmer was eating and killing people.
Some women went there thinking, oh, you know, we're going to have a freak off.
The fact that we as a society, we got mad for a week, money talks, and bullshit walks.
Esther, please bear with me. We all know that there are pass-arounds.
Someone like P. Diddy, I'm sorry, it should be the guillotine.
If that was my daughter and I saw that on camera, it would have been a wrap for Diddy.
Just 1 year ago, Sean Diddy Combs, one of the most successful rappers and producers in music history, was on top of the world. The VMAs honored him as a global icon.
The frequency is up. We're having a Club Love party. That's like a special private party that I throw, but you're invited. You're invited, Club Love. It's all R&B all night. All the things that I would play in my vibration, my frequency, because my frequency is different.
Well, the party's over for Diddy Combs. That global icon has now become a global pariah. Last week, Damian Williams, a U.S. district attorney in New York, stepped in front of a microphone and told a shocked world this.
Today, I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution. The indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. As alleged in the indictment, to carry out this conduct, Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice.
Well, Diddy is now awaiting trial at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. He was denied bail. According to some reports, he's refusing food and could even be on suicide watch. The case threatens to engulf the VIP world with fevered speculation about sordid tapes featuring celebrities and even politicians. So who knew what and when? How far could this go? Is this the music version of the Epstein scandal? And why was Diddy protected for so long by so many people? In a special edition of Piers Morgan Uncensored, looking into a scandal that is rocking the world of show business and way beyond. Here to unpack the fall of a global icon from the Criminal Lawyer Reacts YouTube channel, Bruce Rivers, the editor of Hollywood Unlocked, and a man who partied with Diddy, Jason Lee, PBD's podcast Angry Patriot, Vinny Oshana, and here in the studio, uncensored contributor Esther Kraku. Well, thank you all for joining me. I appreciate it very much. Bruce Rivers, let me start with you because you've been getting great traction with your YouTube channel by exploring every part of this scandal. It really does feel that it's getting bigger and bigger and is right up there with Epstein, with Weinstein, with these other huge scandals we've seen. What do you think is going to happen here?
I think he's going to go to the prison for the rest of his natural life. The federal guidelines are going to be astronomical. There's so much that they've gotten in the search warrant from Miami and LA, and he's really looking at sex trafficking with a lot of aggravating factors.
Which is the most serious for him?
The abuse, the RICO encompasses all the other statutes. So it's the sex trafficking and then all the other enhancements with that. So guidelines, he's probably looking at it in excess of 300 months. Those are just the guidelines.
I mean, I saw that he, through his lawyers, they put a bail package proposal that included a $50 million bond co-signed by Combs, his mother, and other family members. It was to include home detention, surrender of his passport, weekly drug tests, a visitor log that would be submitted to pretrial services each night. But that was rejected. I mean, that in itself said to me just how serious the trouble is for Diddy Combs.
Well, you have a situation where this is a presumptive detention situation. In other words, the defense has to prove, rebut the presumption. And while this is all going on, we have witness tampering. We've got potential bribes of witnesses. And then we also have possession of drugs and ammunition and firearms that are obliterated serial numbers. And then he was on his plane trying to go somewhere earlier in the year. So we have a situation where there's a risk of flight and definitely a danger to the public and a potential obstruction of justice.
Let me turn to Esther on this because Diddy, I met Diddy a few years ago at a party where he was the absolute cock of the walk. This guy was one of the biggest stars in the world, feted by everyone in the room that night, feted by the paparazzi when he came out. It looked like he was as big as it could get. If it's right, if Bruce is right, he's going to prison for the rest of his life. This is one of the biggest downfalls I can remember in entertainment.
Oh, absolutely. But I'm never satisfied with just one person going down. It's like the whole Epstein thing. We don't actually know anyone who was associated with Epstein, who went to his nonce island, who really got involved in the criminal activity. And I think to be P. Diddy, to do the things that he's being accused of, you have to have a whole team around you.
Yeah.
It's an infrastructure, basically. And I just really despise the fact that he's probably going to be the only one that's going to be taken down. He didn't get that powerful just by being by himself. He had the support of politicians, of other wealthy benefactors,
there is a suggestion.
of so many people in the industry.
Right, but there is
Why is he only taking them?
Well, there is a suggestion that he may start talking to the feds and do some kind of deal. Now, Epstein never got the chance to do that or to take that kind of deal, even if he was offered it, because he died, right? He apparently committed suicide. Speculation has run riot ever since somebody got to him, but that appeared to be the fact that he took his life. But that seemed to silence everything and stop the process moving to other people. But here, if Diddy was to suddenly start going after everyone and naming people, and there are tapes, as many people believe, depicting a lot of other people, famous people involved in this stuff, this could get massively bigger very quickly.
Well, the thing is, so many people knew a lot of things. So like 50 Cent, for example, was very open about his disdain for Puff Daddy, and he used to call him gay all the time. He used to rap about it. Eminem has lyrics in some of his music about, P. Diddy being a raper, for example. There's so many people in the industry. Nicki Minaj, for example, certainly knew some things, particularly about Meek Mill's relationship with P. Diddy. If anyone's heard that horrible tape, you'll know what I'm talking about. So there are these high-profile celebrities that certainly saw things. And the question is, how do we incentivize them to speak? Because if they would come forward, then actually, even the other powerful people in the background that are hiding wouldn't be able to hide for much longer. But the question is, how did they do that? How did they incentivize the people who saw things to come forward?
And it might be a complete coincidence, Vinny, but we're already seeing people like Usher and Pink, who were friendly with Diddy Combs. They've deleted a lot of their social media. We don't know why, but it could be coincidence. It looks very like it's not a coincidence. What do you make of the scandal?
Well, Piers, being in the entertainment industry, I left the military, went to Hollywood, acting, and all this whole it's a cult. And I love that she brought up Epstein and how he's apparently dead. Ghislaine Maxwell, she's in prison for 20 some odd years, I guess. Where are all the customers?
Yep.
Where are all the people that were with these girls? You know what I mean, Piers? Where are all the victims? Where are all these people? Not one customer. I know Prince. Andrew? He was obviously, he was there. He was, with the underage girl. And what was his punishment? I think the queen, when she was alive, she just relieved him of his royal duties. He couldn't be out in public. But I've seen it firsthand, Piers. These people with this power and this level of influence, they go out with impunity as if they're never going to get caught. All the celebrities love them. And they all knew, Piers, Hollywood's not a big town. The entertainment industry, it's not a big town. Everybody knows who Diddy was. Everybody knows who Harvey Weinstein was, Piers, and everybody knew Epstein and all these people were, and nobody ever said nothing. You have people like Michelle Obama, Barack, everybody praising them. Harvey Weinstein, these people were such great people. All the parties, all the things that people went to, Piers, everybody knew. The recording and the cameras, that's a whole different story together. People claim that Epstein was a part of Mossad and recording and blackmailing people. Diddy, imagine how many people are panicking right now that he did it. But one of the main things, Piers, that pissed me off the most is the Usher and the Justin Bieber situation.
Oh my God.
He was on Howard Stern. Usher was on, I believe it was Howard Stern a while ago, and he explained that he went to Puffy's flavor camp at 14 years old. His parents dropped him off with Diddy, and he saw stuff that he said he couldn't believe. 14 years old, Piers. Okay, and God knows what he did with him. There's stories about him.
Justin Bieber
There's videos where he said,
Usher, after having seen that, he also sent Justin Bieber there.
Great point. And if the rumors are true, Piers, he brings up Justin Bieber, and Justin Bieber has looked like he has been through hell. He was seen with Diddy a couple months ago, and Diddy's patting him down for a while. These people, Piers, are disgusting. They're evil. Thank God Justin Bieber has found God. If he didn't find God, I don't think we'd have him. These people are predators. They're disgusting human beings. It's a cult, Piers, and I hope to God that they find God, because the end game for people like that, Piers, is not good.
Okay, Jason, you know Diddy. You've been at some of these parties. Does what you're reading now shock you, or was it a very wild scene?
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here. First of all, I want to be very clear on the conflation between going to a Diddy party and then going to Diddy After Dark.
Yeah. Right.
I said yesterday on a program that, it's like you pass by the door and see a party in an apartment, you go in, you have a drink, and then you go home and realize Jeffrey Dahmer was eating and killing people. People that went to a Diddy party, like Ashton Kutcher, Demi Moore, Beyonce, Jay-Z, I don't know if they were at Diddy After Dark when people were getting sprayed down with baby oil. What I will say is that, you've heard a lot of things about Diddy over the years, blowing up cars, harassing people, threatening people, having people killed, allegedly, all allegations. But I think Esther made the most important point that all of us are just in the culture figuring out this crisis is where were all the people who were booking flights, booking hotels, driving people to rooms, knowing what was happening? Why is he in there by himself? Why are nobody speaking out? Why is Usher and Justin Bieber not condemning these rumors? Where is Beyonce and Jay-Z? People
where are they?
Watching this train. People are watching this train wreck happen and just trying not to have the conductor call their name. And that's the problem. And see, the problem that I have is that while we all enjoy the fruit of the industry, if you're eating poisonous fruit, then you need to be a part of that tree that's on its way down too. And the problem with being castrated in public right now, which is what is happening to Diddy, no pun intended, is that he's not given his due process. So on one hand, you're like, let it go through the process. But on the other hand, we have, the energy that the young man just had before me, that they know that this is happening in the industry that is not regulated or not controlled. And who's it going to happen to next?
Yeah. Well, I want to bring in Lord Jamar. American rapper and DJ, someone who knows Diddy Combs well, has been again at some of these parties. Lord Jamar, first of all, your reaction to the sheer scale of charges against Diddy. Are you as stunned as everybody else by this?
Not really, to be honest. And I want to reiterate what Jason said about the regular Diddy parties and the Diddy After Dark. I've been to regular Diddy parties, like in clubs, the PG version. Never been to anything in his home or anything like that, or any After Dark type of stuff. But I'm not really surprised. I've heard rumors about this guy for years.
Yeah, I mean, there were these supposed freak-offs, they were called. These are the other parties that you guys are alluding to, where he distributed a variety of controlled substances to victims, so illegal drugs, in part to keep the victims obedient and compliant at these freak-offs. The police raided Diddy's house. They found narcotics, 3 AR-15 guns with defaced serial numbers, ammunition, a drum magazine, evidence aligning more again with the freak-offs. They found 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. And again, the indictment alleges that Combs subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse to cause the victims to engage in the freak-offs. I mean, Lord Jamar, it all sounds pretty horrific, what was going on to these women at the freak-offs. Were they going there with their eyes wide open to what was going to be happening? Were they caught up in some depravity which only became clear when they got through the door? What do you think was happening here?
I mean, I can only imagine. Like I said, I wasn't there. I think it was probably a combination of the two. Some women went there thinking, oh, you know, we're going to have a freak off. But some of them may have gone there innocently thinking, oh, I'm just going to be around, you know, famous people, Sean Puffy Combs. And then he's like, here, have a sip of this. And she doesn't know.
Piers, let me give you some context. Let me give you some context, because I'm going to just cut straight to it. I have been to the house parties where there have been extra police, or not police, but maybe off-duty police working in security, armed security, shutting down the entire street because there are so many people trying to get in the home. Think about it. Beyonce's on the other side of the gate. Jay-Z's on the other side of the gate. Every major celebrity, the Kardashians, on the other side of the gate. People are trying to get in that party. The first Diddy party I went to was at Prince's house. So you want to go to Prince's house to the Diddy party where Tyrese is performing and Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher are swinging on swings. That is what's happening on the other side of the wall. And so the one thing that makes this party different than a Jamie Foxx party or any other celebrity party that wrangles a bunch of young women or guys or whatever too, is that Diddy didn't let you bring your security in the party. That is the one thing that I thought was odd, because, you know, I came one time with my security and no other security other than Diddy's security is allowed to be inside the...
No, we're going to stop it right there. Now, if anybody that knows, that would be that dude, Jason Lee. I'm pretty sure he done been to one of them parties, man. A couple of them parties, you know what I'm saying? To them did the party or whatever. But yeah, man, there you have it, man, for today. That's the part of the Diddy update that we putting out here on the live or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Y'all go subscribe to my channel, you know, Malone TV News. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel at youtube.com/CMTheGoat5, man. Back with another one, Malone TV News. Like, share, and subscribe, and we out. On to the next. Deuces.